An original takes the box office crown, news around Batman and Disney, and Matt Smith to finally join Star Wars. All this and so much more on this episode of Beyond the Screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Beyond the Screen, as this is the first episode on our new home, Beyond the Screen Dash podcast. Is it not Dash? What is it? I thought you said it was Dash. Oh, it is now Dot. Sorry, we've gone this route before. He changed it on me. I thought you said you didn't. It is Beyond the Screen Dot podcast on YouTube. Many apologies, Jake. Our new home, our first episode on the new sole home for Beyond the Screen podcast. This is Beyond the Screen. Welcome, everybody. Jake, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. All weekend, I was editing the short film we worked on. Shout out last episode. And let me tell you, whoever was on camera for this godforsaken short film, they were the best cameraman I've ever seen.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, 100%. What'd you do this weekend?
I actually did nothing. I was exhausted and I hadn't had like a weekend to do absolutely nothing. So I just lounged around my home. I think me and my partner, we went to a coffee shop Sunday, but that's literally it. Is we hung out is essentially the beginning and end of our, of our endeavors for the weekend. I don't know. I just kind of, it's very rare that I get like a low key time. And so I think I get another one partially this upcoming weekend. We have to celebrate. One of our closest friends is celebrating their birthday this upcoming weekend. So we'll be out and about for them. But other than that, I mean, I hope to take advantage of another one before we have yet another set we have to be on the weekend after. So I work in higher ed and school gets back in session this next week. So it's not going to be, like it's not relaxing anyway. It just gets right back into the grind. The fall semester's in. So that'll be fun. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. With that, we're going to hop into our first micro segment. And that is, what are we drinking today? As coined by the amazing Emily Keller. Today, I am drinking my normal tea. I drink a beverage that is usually black. I usually don't put anything in it. But it is today got honey and milk because I wanted to spice things up.
Sissy.
Yeah.
You got soft hands.
Soft hands. No, it tastes great and I'm happy with it. Jake, what are you drinking on this fine evening?
Blue Hug.
Blue.
The color blue. We are sponsored by the color blue.
And lastly, Emily, if you will partake, what are you drinking this fine evening?
Thanks for asking, Ryan. I don't have it in front of me as I'm currently in my kitchen, but I was drinking Peach Vibe Celsius that I had this afternoon at work. I'm still drinking it. We're still going. So that's what I was drinking. Thank you for asking.
Of course. No, what do we think about the flavor peach, Jay?
Oh, maybe that's the next week's sponsor, but yeah. that was Emily live from the kitchen.
And we're back. And on that will end our micro segment of what are we drinking. And on that note, we will move on into our box office news. Our first segment every week always starts with the numbers from this past weekend. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. Usually we wait to get to our predictions towards the end, but today we're actually going to start with last week's predictions, and we're here to say that we were way wrong. We're going to go over. I'm looking at our doc right here, and it is just completely red. We
missed
0 for 5. We've done this 6 or 7 weeks now, and this is the first time we've both gotten just completely incorrect. So
usually we get the number one. I mean, no brainer, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna run through that top 5 of what we got wrong, and then we'll go through the graphic you just saw has the correct top 5. So what we predicted was we both predicted Fantastic Four would finish first. Not right. I predicted Bad Guys 2, and Jake was very accurate with Weapons being up in the top 2 at the very least. I then had Weapons as 3, and Jake had Bad Guys 2 at number 3. Then I had Freakier Friday at 4. Jake had The Naked Gun at 4. I had Superman, and Jake had Freakier Friday at 5. So while we had like there were things that we could take as victories, I guess, we just were wrong. There is no if, ands, or buts, no roundabout way of saying it. We just we don't know what we're talking about.
I think, which I might let you go into the spiel, but like Weapons, I think it was just because nobody knew why
Yeah.
the kids acted the way they did. But please proceed, and we can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll give you the rundown of the numbers from Weapons and then hold that note exactly what you're saying because I'm very interested to hear more about what you mean. But the Zach Cregger's Warner Brothers distributed follow-up to Barbarian lands at the top of this weekend's box office, as you just heard, in dominant fashion, which I don't think anybody predicted. It dethrones Marvel's First Family by earning $43.5 million domestically. The film also pulled in $70 million globally, completely surpassing the entirety of Barbarian's box office run. So Cregger's Barbarian became a cult classic, as we talked about, I think, in previous weeks, if not last week, the week before. And I think that did enough, especially with the point you just mentioned. Again, we'll get to it after we get to the rest of the numbers, but completely shatters what Barbarian earned in Cregger's second outing. Weapons earned a 95% on the tomato meter and an 87% on the popcorn meter, which are, I don't even have to say it, those are high marks from both fans and critics alike, which, again, it's rare that they're that succinct, that they're that close. This also marks Warner Brothers' seventh film to reach the #1 spot in the box office this year, which is what is happening at Warner Brothers. They split up from Discovery and they have an insane year. And if you're wondering what those films were, think of like a Minecraft movie. Like that is a Warner Brothers title, and those are two not Barbarian, Weapons and a Minecraft movie are two of their 7 that hit #1. But that's crazy in 1 year. So the IMDb synopsis before we get into what we think about the film, because we haven't seen it yet. But, quote, when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. So now, Jake, continue with your thought from earlier, now that we know the numbers exactly.
Yeah, so I didn't see any piece of marketing that actually told me what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
And I even saw like Bobby Lee in the movie attacking the teacher who is the main character of this story.
I think that was Benedict Wong.
Right?
I don't think it was
Oh,
Bobby
Benedict.
Lee.
Sorry, not Wong. Dude,
No, it's okay.
put me in the corner.
No, it's okay.
It's
Keep
so
going.
mean.
Keep
Okay,
going.
sorry. Benedict Wong. Sorry. That makes me think that I definitely read that somewhere, and that I'm gonna blame it on that. Like I read somebody's like, is that Bobby Lee? No,
It's okay.
it
It
was
is
not.
not. It is
I
Benedict Wong.
apologize. Benedict Wong, still very frightening, um, to say the least. Having Benedict Wong do the run at you and then chase you through a convenience store, but it wasn't just kids. I guess at that point, this was more than that. But it was all the kids in this one teacher's class, and now like all the parents like, what did you do? And then so Josh Brolin is, I guess, secondary
Yeah.
to this, but through all the marketing, there is no reason gave, and I think that's what makes a lot of the trailers really good is it didn't give it away,
Yeah.
right? And all the way up to like when this started surfacing, you just saw clips of children running through like night vision camera um, type shots through backyard.
Terrifying marketing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very odd. And then something that they did right was just never give away what it was. Why?
Yeah.
So people have to go see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard from close friends who have, and they give me their opinion. From what I understand, it's not really a horror. Like it's marketed as such, but it's got a lot of funny moments, and it's more of a mystery. It's more of a thriller. They harp on what happened, less so much. There's not really any jump scares, from what I understand. And it's told in chapters. So like Julia Gardner is a chapter that she plays the teacher. Josh Brolin is the investigator, or just someone interested in what happened. I think Benedict Wong has a chapter that describes like what, and they're all talking about the one event, and you see it kind of culminate. I would imagine one of the kids connected, or maybe one of the, because like you see like in the marketing, you saw like a kid with his parents in a really freaky moment. I would imagine he'd be another chapter, but I would imagine like again, you talk about like what is it, because there's so little. But again, what have we talked about every week when we refer to Weapons? It's the fact that Monkey's Paw, which is Jordan Peele's company, supposedly rumored Jordan Peele fired everybody when they didn't get this one. So when you have stuff like that, because people trust Jordan Peele to come out with freaky stuff. So when you have someone like that saying this is as good as it sounds, and I'm mad and I fired people because we missed out on it, I think that also pushes people because again, it harps on that curiosity factor. Yes, like what the heck is going on? I need to be in there to see it because we didn't give it away in the marketing. But also when you got people like a Jordan Peele saying it's great, and you trust a Jordan Peele, you're more likely to go and see it.
Right.
Any final thoughts before we move on from Weapons?
I have none besides I would like to go see it.
Yes, we do need to go see it. I'd like to see it this week some point if we can. Going down the line, we'll go to number 2. Landing second is Disney's legacy sequel, Freakier Friday. The film earned $28.5 million domestically and $44.5 globally. The Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan starring film hit home more with audiences, than with critics, although the latter didn't think the film was terrible, giving the film a 73% on the tomato meter and a staggering 93% on the popcorn meter, as according to Today. So the IMDb synopsis for this film is, quote, 22 years after Tess and Anna endured an identity crisis, Anna now has a daughter and a soon-to-be stepdaughter. As they navigate the challenges that come when two families merge, Tess and Anna discover that lightning might strike twice. So that seems like a fun premise, and I think, again, nostalgia won out on that one. And so Freakier Friday finishes second, another hit for Disney in the year of 2025. Finishing third is Fantastic Four, earning $15.7 million domestically in its third weekend in theaters. It yet again plummets down the box office charts, dropping another 60% in ticket sales from last week. And again, it finishes third after 2 weeks. Finished first last week, or week before last week. Both weeks after its opening dropped 60 or more percent in ticket sales. Unheard of. That is crazy. Usually films drop 40 to 50. Like, that's not unheard of. Is like 50 is where you get alarmed. But when you go from week 1 earning hundreds of millions to then you drop over half of that the following week, 60, and then the third week after that, when you have the people who want cheaper tickets coming out, like they're not going to see it. Ugh. So Disney inevitably will call this a flop. They will inevitably say this is not a successful film, although the film will make over $500 million. It just won't make over $800 as they had wanted. Speaking of numbers, the film totals $230 million domestically and $434 million globally. Again, it might not get 500. I think it will, but it might not reach 500.
I mean, estimates were even saying 550, 570 last weekend, and now they're like probably not even 5.
It is steeped so low. And that, again, we're talking about a film that's made over $430 million. And we're talking about it in this light, which, again, we put too much credence on how much a film makes to its success. Yeah. People are liking the movie, which should be enough, but we live in a day and age where it's not. So, finishing fourth is The Bad Guys 2 from DreamWorks, earning $10.5 million domestically. This pushes its totals to $43.3 million through 2 weeks here in the States and $84 million globally. While still holding steady, these marks do fall short of the original's total through this point. And fifth is The Naked Gun in its second week, starring Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. The film earned $8.3 million domestically, pushing its domestic tally to $33 million and its global earnings to $56.4 million, which for a comedy in today's age, that's actually pretty good. So, other notes before we get into this week's predictions. Both Superman and Jurassic World Rebirth find themselves ousted from the top 5 for the first time, yet both still hitting pretty significant marks. Superman becomes the highest grossing standalone Supes film of all time and is now the third highest grossing domestic film this year, while Jurassic crosses the $800 million mark globally, making it the fourth highest grossing film in the world this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So both, they finished 6 and 7. They're still there, but they both cross pretty major milestones. And with that concludes our box office. We're going to get into our predictions for next week. So when we get back here, you'll see if we're correct. But, Jake, we'll start with you. What do you think is going to be our top 5 next week?
Next weekend, we've got Nobody 2 coming out. I think that's going to do great. I'm going to put it at number 1. Actually, I'm going to, I already wrote them down, but I am going to make an amendment. Americana, starring Sydney Sweeney, is also coming out next weekend. So you've also got Paul Walter Hauser, I believe, and he's awesome.
Yeah, he's funny.
But he's also done like really good like serial killers too. Like that's what I know him for. Um, I don't remember who he's played, but like, I don't know, very good actor. Look him up if you haven't heard of him. But I think Americana might come in. I think Sydney Sweeney puts butts in seats.
Yeah.
So Nobody 2, Americana, and then Weapons, Freakier, and I think the bad guys will hold out. The bad guys 2, and then Fantastic Four will drop out of 5.
I don't know about top 5. I will agree with you on Nobody 2. I do think that will probably finish first. I think Weapons and Freakier will hang on. I don't think they're going to drop that far. I don't think Americana. Nobody 2 is the only one that's really coming out that's huge. And I do think Americana with Sydney Sweeney is a big enough name. I just don't think it's enough. I'm not seeing any marketing for it personally. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's so I just don't.
I haven't either.
Yeah. So I just don't think if we haven't seen it, who has, you know? And so it's like, I'm going to say it's going to go Nobody 2, Weapons. Then we're going to stay Freakier Friday. And then I'm actually going to go Bad Guys 2, and I will say that Fantastic Four will hold on. I think it literally stays what it is now in the order, but it just slides. I think everything just slides down. Actually, let me switch Fantastic Four into Bad Guys 2. I think that it will, yeah, it will stay exactly as it is this week. Just slide in Nobody 2 1, and then what is 1 through 4 this week will just stay. So now we're locking them in. We're no more changes. So to recap, Jake is predicting that next week's top 5 will look like Nobody 2, Americana starring Sydney Sweeney, Weapons, because I don't know what it is. That's my qualifier. I don't know what it is. Weapons will finish 3rd, Freakier Friday will finish 4th, and The Bad Guys 2 is 5th. So Fantastic Four, in Jake's opinion, is going to get ousted this week. I'm going to say it's going to be Nobody 2 at 1. We're going to see Weapons at 2, Freakier Friday at 3, Fantastic Four at 4, and Bad Guys 2 at 5. I think that we have some strong predictions because this week was pretty bad. We did not predict correctly at all, and I think we're on a much better path now.
Yeah, I think my upset is Americana.
Yeah.
I think I think you're crazy not putting it in top 5, but I think my upset is it's so high, but I think your upset is that it's not in top 5 at all.
Just because I've not seen marketing for it. Again, it's a lot like, I mean, I will say I'll give you so much credit because you said Weapons would finish a lot higher than I ever would have given it credit for, simply because films similar to it, like, not in terms of genre, but like Eddington. Like, I thought Eddington would have been what, maybe not number 1, but what we think of Weapons now, but it just wasn't. So, like, you've had other films like Final Destinations didn't hit 1, but it was high. So it's just like, in my mind, it was like, man, there's no way Weapons will be at 2, and you called that. So I'll, like, take as much credit.
I think given Sydney Sweeney and the recent like American Eagle stuff, as well as like her name in general, if people find out about it, I think they'll go. Just like those types of people will go.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Weapons, word of mouth is doing a really good job with Weapons and Freakier Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. Simply because I've not seen any marketing for it, which again will probably be to my detriment. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I think, I mean, it is really, Weapons could be 2 for mine. That's just why that's my upset pick is Americana's higher than Weapons.
And Sydney Sweeney's a star enough that is definitely something that could happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the gamble, right? Nobody 2's a given, but Americana and Weapons for me is the gamble. I think those could be flipped.
Yeah.
Could be. But I don't see Fantastic Four sticking around. Definitely not at 4. So
I just don't see, like, my thing is, if Americana slides in, Fantastic Four will either finish 4th where it is with Americana behind it, or it'll finish 5th with Americana somewhere in front of them. Like, I don't think Fantastic Four will drop out completely. I just don't think so. Not yet. Yes, it's dropping fast, but I don't think it's dropping that fast with a slow week.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it will. I think the Bad Guys will have the staying power of a children's film like it usually does, and Freakier is going to hold on pretty darn tight.
Yeah, the word of mouth on Freakier Friday is insane right now.
Yeah. I just think I probably put Americana too high. I'm having second guesses,
No.
so let's move on.
Oh, Jake's tempted to change it. On that note, we will move on from our first segment. Coming up after the break, Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2 finally has a production window, and Disney to merge Disney Plus and Hulu. Hear about it next. Welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You made it to segment 2 and the start of our major news segments. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. Matt Reeves, The Batman Part 2, officially begins filming in the spring of next year to the enjoyment of fans everywhere. We finally have a production window. Robert Pattinson frees up finally after Dune and The Odyssey. He will then don the cowl in spring of 2026. In a recent letter to shareholders, Warner Brothers revealed that production for Matt Reeves' next installment will again, in fact, begin next spring. It will culminate in an October 2027 release window. The letter also cited the massive success of their most recent comic book outing, James Gunn's Superman, stating, quote, DC Studios' universe of characters represents not only one of Warner Brothers Discovery's most valuable pieces of intellectual property, but one of the most valuable assets in entertainment, according to Variety. Other projects Warner Brothers spoke about in their letter included a 10-year plan with an array of both film and series that includes ground root characters like Supergirl, which will be Woman of Tomorrow, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern in the Lantern series, Peacemaker, Penguin, Clayface, varying from horror films to more drama to, again, back to series. So this is a 10-year plan. I think animation are in there as well. So a varied 10-year plan with a lot of moving parts for DC. But going back to Batman, James Gunn himself has had to defend Matt Reeves and his long-term approach to writing a sequel, which we've talked about before on the show, citing various other examples throughout cinema where a film takes 4 or more years for a film to develop, and citing his own self-established rule at DC that describes how a project cannot move forward without a completed script. A stark contrast to how counterpart Marvel does it, where they will often start projects without a finished script. And again, that is according to Variety. Gunn also has had to swat away fan rumors like flies, one in particular regarding a potential debut of a certain boy wonder into Reeves' universe. Many fans online have discussed a rumor that would see Robert Pattinson's iteration of the Bat finding his own Robin, a circumstance that would, funnily enough, put this Batman in line with Gunn's own self-described timeline for Batman in his DCU. Reminder that Reeves/Pattinson's Batman are not in the same universe. The DCU and what is called Elseworld, which is Matt Reeves' Batman, they're supposed to be separate. However, when you think about it, the pushed back timeline of The Brave and the Bold does fit kind of perfectly with now a Pattinson, where there's rumors that Robin will show up. But apparently that's not happening. I sense a lie, Jake. But anyway, the DCU writer, producer, and director wrote on Threads, quote, "Guys, please stop believing this nonsense. I think 6 of us have read the script. No one knows anything about The Batman 2. And again, that was according to Variety. He continued, "Anything you've heard about that movie is made up or a guess. No one in the world knows anything about the concept for the story except 4 people."
Whoa. He said 6. That liar.
He can't even keep his own lies straight.
Can't even. Dude, isn't there a word for that? Isn't there, like, or not a word, but like there's a saying, right? It's harder to keep a lie than it is the truth. Already messing up the numbers, dog. Not even a few months in. All I'm saying is 6 people to read the script, 6 mouths
To speak.
to speak the rumors, man. There's too many people involved. It should be director, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this rumor before, and it's just funny because, like, I've said it more just because, like, it's weird that they reference the Gotham floods in Superman, and the timeline for Brave and the Bold got pushed back, and they just don't talk about it anymore. And then all of a sudden Matt Reeves finishes the script, and now it's like just weird timing. But now that there's a rumor about Robin, if you notice Gunn's words online, they're a lot more poignant and a lot more, like, they've got a lot more bite to them than they normally do when he interacts with fans. He's like, "Stop it, no!" And I think he's mad because they're probably right. And again, if that is true, yeah, he's like, no. If this is true, if Robin shows up, I think you can almost write it off that Robert Pattinson's going to be next to Corn Sweat's Soups at some point.
I just love Pattinson's Batman.
He's
like
so good.
When Emily cued those photos, man, I was just like, just staring in awe. Bro.
Look at him.
Like, look at it, look at the suit, man. Look at him. Look at the like I'm just admiring just the details of the suit and how it's so like homemade, I
Yeah.
guess. It's just like, man, that's so cool. It's so
It's
cool.
perfect. So like the thing, this is going into the semantics of the suit, but like
Right.
I love like the collar. It almost looks like a detective, like like in those old noirs where they have like the tall collars. That's what that
Yeah.
reminds me of. Is like when he's got that high end. So anyway, I know that's like off
I
topic.
think it's like protection. I think it's
That
actually
too.
practical.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just everything. Anyway,
Well, it's like online fans have completely bought in, or at least I've seen a lot of people making edits to where it's like they have the parallels between the Superman film and the Batman where they're like in similar frame, like the framing is very similar and they're cutting back and forth. And a lot of people that I have talked or not talked to, but seen online, they're like, okay, this made me buy in. Like this made me think that this is something that could actually happen and be kind of cool. So
right.
I don't know. For a long time, I was kind of like, no. But now that I've seen it so many times, I'm kind of like, would it work? Because like Pattinson is cool. Like he's a cool version of the character.
And I've seen the uh meme where he's holding up the Robin costume and pointing at the kid.
The kid at the beginning of the Batman that's like his parents. Yeah. Yeah. That is so funny.
See if I can find it.
No,
Never mind.
there's another one. There was another theory that if Robin does show up, that if you remember when Batman first like shows his strength, he's like in the subway and he's beating up that gang, and
Yeah.
one of the gang members that he like
Gosling?
fights is a kid, is like young, and they were like, what if he's Robin? And I just think
Oh,
I think that's too on the nose.
no.
I don't think they'd do that because it's like, oh yeah, remember this one character that he did this one thing with and beat up once? Yeah, that guy now wants to work with him. Or worse, Batman feels bad for him. Listen, kid, I'm sorry I broke your wrist. You can
Oopsies.
here put on the suit and help me fight crime.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, like I don't know about that one. I don't like that. I would like a new, like just introduce a new character and just let that
I
be
was gonna
Robin.
say, do you think we've seen him yet
No.
or not?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Fair
I feel
enough.
like people are reaching because they want it to be Robin, but I don't think.
He's reaching.
Yeah, very much so. But I don't know. What do we think? Just going back here, I would like to talk more about the production schedule. It's still a ways away. October
I
of
can't wait.
2027. What do we think we will have in store for the sequel?
I mean, we don't even know the villain yet, right?
Mm-mm.
We got no idea. So,
Other than,
people think it's some people think it's Joker.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Was Barry Kogan?
Yeah.
Because he showed up
I
at
mean,
the end of the
really
first.
don't want it to be Barry.
I thought his take was kind of sick with the quick glimpse we got, but also it just because it's visceral. Like his look was,
Right.
I mean,
Crazy looking.
it fit that universe, and so like
Yeah.
it's. I think it would be neat to see him at some point,
Yeah.
but it's too soon. I still feel like we need to
Yeah, a lot of people don't want Joker in general.
let it.
Want a Scarecrow. They so badly want a Scarecrow
Ooh.
because of the Penguin TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. And well, the thing is it would make sense with the Riddler, with the kind of villain that he's fought, like that smart, intelligent, grounded type. Because like the thing about the Riddler was that he just was wicked intelligent. Scarecrow's the same thing. He just makes a toxin, the neurotoxin. So
Yeah.
again, very grounded, very in that. Like that would work really well. Not talking about what happened in the Penguin, but just as a concept for this version would be sick.
Which I don't even know if he was using a toxin in the Penguin. I think he was using this red light and something
Well,
else.
yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't remember if he was actually using any injectable or breathable.
That's what made Scarecrow so scary, is that like he could just toss down like essentially a smoke bomb and it's like the size of a grape. And he could just like, so that's what I mean too, is like that, like if you take, so I know for a fact that like Reeves took a lot of inspiration from David Fincher's Seven for the Riddler, or for like the first take. If you take that same aesthetic and you make it that some more horror elements to it with a Scarecrow, like just it'd be perfect.
I think he would do really well. And we could actually like see flashbacks into like this Batman's past and like stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
get crazy into his fears and and whatnot. Like, and
Deep.
I could see this being very dark as well. Like the scarecrow, like the fear toxin is like making people kill each other, and like it's that crazy.
Like in Arkham, like in
Yeah.
the video games. I don't know if you guys have ever played the Arkham series, but that
No.
very similar to where Scarecrow in that was scary. Like, and when you got in the spoiler, you deal with that. Your character gets hit with the fear toxin, and you have to like fight continuously with that. It'd just be cool. It'd be cool to see that on live, like in actual like film.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, who else could it be? We already have a Clayface movie in the
But
work,
that's a
so it can't be him.
DCU.
Right, right. And then I mean, a lot of people are like Calendar Man or Condiment Man, or like they're just throwing out the small guys. And I was like, come on, it's got to be a big one, right? It's got to be like Mr. Freeze, and people
That's
are thinking it's
You
Freeze.
read my mind because I was about to say Mr. Freeze would be another cool one.
So they chill.
Oh,
They were saying with there was like something that came out with like a newspaper or something, and they reaching, right?
yeah.
Something about like next week is gonna be cold or something. It was like the only thing on this newspaper. Hold on, let me find it.
I just again,
Newspaper.
Mr. Freeze is another one that is like it's down to earth enough in a grungy take that you could make it work.
Yeah.
I love the idea of and I don't like you don't even have to make his skin that hint of blue that we see him have a lot, but just imagine him in that suit, just going Nora, like running around like he does in the again back in the Arkham games. That's what I imagine. But it's like it would be cool. For those who don't know, the premise of Mr. Freeze is he is a scientist who his wife is diagnosed with an incurable disease, and so he freezes her in an attempt to buy time so that he could find this cure. And one happenstance leads to another, and he becomes the embodiment of like the cold. So he has like a freeze gun. His skin is a hint of blue. He wears a suit that regulates his body temperature because he now has to live in like sub like zero temperatures at all times. And it's very interesting. He's got a very unique like story arc, and that would be really cool to see. And I'm no pun intended. I promise. It'd just be unique to see him on live and not be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I like that man a
Yeah.
lot, but no.
A lot of people are saying it's because of the poster and like all the artwork we're seeing is it's like blue, and people are saying
Oh.
it's like ice too.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean now.
Um, but I swear I saw like a newspaper front page, and the only thing that was on it was like going over the past news of uh like the first movie,
Yeah.
and then just at the very top where there would be weather, it just has like a sentence about how cold it was or something.
You know why that doesn't work and why you can't buy into that? What was the color for the first one? It wasn't green, it was orange or red. Yeah, red.
It was red. Yeah.
So it does the Riddler is notoriously in green. So that doesn't fit. That like you can't buy into that because that's just not a thing that they've done. I doubt
What's
they'd
the
start it now.
opposite of red? Green.
Okay.
What's the opposite of blue? Orange. Who's orange? Who's orange? Be so for real. Scarecrow.
Yeah, I better say. I guess his tan, like the potato sack he wears.
Isn't the toxins orange?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I feel like it's different depending on the iteration. But
I feel like they were orange. I don't know. Sorry.
No.
Tangent.
Yeah, we're getting way off track. We're not off track. We're talking about what we want to see in the sequel. Yeah, Batman.
Okay.
No, but to end that talking point is like it's interesting to see not only the plan of DC, but how this one Elseworld story in particular, all of a sudden now aligns a lot more than it used to with what Gunn is saying isn't connected. And so I thought it was funny, and I wanted us to get into not only that rumor about Robin, but also about what we could potentially see in the sequel, which we will see in 2 years from now. A little over 2 years from now, actually. So with that, we'll go ahead and move on to our second story and our second segment. Disney has officially announced plans to merge Hulu into Disney Plus, completely eliminating the former app. This merger is being described as a integration by the company itself, which that was according to CBS News. Disney CEO Bob Iger was on an earnings call last week. There was a lot of stuff happening last week. It's beginning of the fiscal year, so it's not shocking that these two things are happening at the same time, but it's a little surprising that in the same week that you had an earnings call and Warner Brothers like earnings statement. Anyway, On that earnings call, Bob Iger would describe the unification as a, quote, an impressive package of entertainment pairing the highest caliber brands and franchises, great general entertainment kids, programming news, and industry-leading live sports content all in a single app. And again, that was according to CBS News. Iger also cited an opportunity to better cater towards consumers/audiences and gain better ad potential. Something interesting to note, Disney just paid Comcast and NBC Universal over $438 million for their 1/3 stake in the app just a month ago, now commanding full ownership of the streamer, even though the House of Mouse has been the brains behind the operations at Hulu since 2019. So Disney bought 2/3 of the app from Universal in 2019. Universal held out for 6 years. They just sold it for a hair under $500 million, and immediately Disney is like, yeah, we're merging them. Which I feel like you could kind of see that on the writing on the wall for that for a while if you really looked, but it's still surprising that they're actually this quickly going for that, because this is not a small thing. And i.e., going back to why, another big note as to why they would want to do this, Disney Plus, or I should say Hulu, costs a lot of money to operate. And so if you're wondering why else they own it, they don't have to whatever. Yeah, it costs a ton of money for Disney to keep Hulu open. So it cost the House of Mouse over $4 billion in operating costs and another $2.9 billion in what Variety labels as non-programming expenses, which a definition according to the Corporate Financial Institute of CFI of what a non-programming expense is, it's a non-operating expense. So think like legal fees or like that sort of thing. So to keep Hulu up, it costs over $5 billion. So if you can imagine, in short, it costs a lot of money to run one app, let alone two massive titles. Even Disney has its limitations. These operating costs will start to decrease over the next few years once standalone Hulu is gone, and they will now funnel all their audience into one app where they have Hulu has live sports. It's like a thing that they've been peddling for years now. Hulu has like the originals that people talk about all the time. Not just like the original like crime dramas, but they also have the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is like a big deal. It's a reality TV show that's a Hulu original that like everyone talks about. It's huge. On another note too, so while all this is happening, Disney has also announced in a recent earning report a bundle with the new ESPN app and the new look, as we will see with the new look Disney Plus and Hulu conglomerate, for around $30 a month. You'll be able to get them all together. So that new ESPN app rolls out late August. Everything is happening at once. Disney announces ESPN rolling out, which is just going to be the ESPN TV channel with some newer original shows strictly for that service, so you can bypass cable. Now they're saying you can get that and what will be the new look Disney Plus starting next year, all for $30 a month, which is not a bad price tag, but it still is. Again, you're just paying for Disney Plus and ESPN. Anyway, Jake, what do we think?
I don't like.
Oh,
But also, I didn't really watch Hulu. I got Hulu through Spotify, so basically, I'm losing a streaming channel.
yeah.
I mean, unless they go and credit me half or a third.
Yeah.
I don't watch ESPN or Disney Plus, but I was on Hulu. If I needed it, I was on it. If I had to. No, I can't.
Hulu is like, I always describe it as like a poor man's, for me anyway, it's like a poor man's Netflix with live TV. So the idea is that it's like, it has good, like, not as good as Netflix, but it has good documentaries, right? Like it had back in the day when Disney bought it, it had really good anime. Like that was like another thing. You could watch a lot of anime on Hulu. You can't anymore. They all migrated to Netflix, but like that was something you could do. And again, outside of live TV, that's about it. They have some interesting originals, but I'm blanking on exactly what in this moment, what makes Hulu special. And I think that Disney, again, another term that was thrown around here by, it was in Variety by an analyst from MoffettNathanson. His name is Robert Fishman. He called it duplicative technology. So I think Disney just looked at the cost of operation of both apps and said, one of these is making so much more money. In that earnings call, they also talked about, or that report from Disney, Bob Iger also described how there's a huge uptick in subscribers to both apps. And I just feel like in their mind, from a business standpoint, it does kind of make sense if you try to funnel all those subscribers to one instead of trying to make them pick and choose between one and the other, because then they can, per se, unsubscribe from one and go to the other because they can say it like cherry pick and say, I don't necessarily need all that stuff on the other. Now you have to go to one or the other. And
So
sorry, go ahead.
who so when and who said that they had an uptick in subscribers on Hulu?
This was on, or not Hulu, on just their streamers in general. And that was on Variety.
And when was that?
That was
'Cause
this
I could
year.
probably tell you the show.
That was this year, just in general.
Well, so Amazing World of Gumball came back out, new season.
Is that on
King
Disney?
of the Hill.
Is that on Hulu?
Hulu. Both are on Hulu.
Whoa.
So King of the Hill also came out with new season. Like I'm telling you, like they added two big shows that would create an uptick. I think, at least new sitcoms maybe. I'm not seeing anything super crazy besides King of the Hill, but like I'm just saying, like I think they added some on there. Also, I think American Pickers came back.
Nuh-uh. One of the guys died. How?
Um, uh, one guy's still doing it, and they brought 3 new people on, or maybe 2 new people, and they kept the lady, Danielle. Yeah, Danielle came back.
Wow.
And then Mike's still there. Yep. And then they got 2 new guys.
You know what?
Actually, no, one guy's been on there off and on.
Uh,
They only brought on like 1 new guy. I guess the other guy's kind of full time now. So 3 same people, 1 new guy.
I'm going back to
interesting.
The Amazing World of Gumball because if you remember, Gumball came on Cartoon Network, which is
Yeah.
owned by the aforementioned company Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
and it's not on HBO.
No, it's not.
And HBO's been doing this thing where they're cutting Cartoon Network out of their streamer.
Yep. I don't know if it was The Amazing World of Gumball or The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball, is I think what they're calling it now. I think primarily it was likely King of the Hill.
I think you're right, but it's just like, again, it's just I can't wrap my head around, because the thing is the royalties off that, or just because like the way that these work is like, obviously Warner Brothers still owns the title. So what they do is they sell it to other streamers for a certain year. So they sign a contract to say for 5 years you can show this and you can market it, and it cannot it can't
Love
be
Island. Love Island is on.
Is that on Hulu?
Yeah.
It can't be live TV, dude. Reality TV is always on Hulu, but it can't be that much money. Why are if you're Warner Brothers, why are you printing money for Disney? Why are you doing that? Who owns King of the Hill? Now I'm curious, who owns the royalties to that, or the
I thought it
rights?
was Adult Swim. Is it not?
Adult Swim. I don't know who. Adult Swim. I was going to say it is Walt Disney. King of the Hill is owned by Walt Disney. Oh, they acquired it from Fox when they bought 20th Century. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
We are getting off on a little bit, but like I wanted to prove like why Hulu got an uptick, and I knew there was a reason, and it was likely because they just added a bunch of cool shows, and now you have to go to Disney Plus to get them.
Like so, Star Wars, Nat Geo. I mean, obviously Disney titles, but like the Disney Channel, and now all of Hulu, King of the Hill, some Cartoon Network. Probably going to be a lot of Cartoon Network because they don't want their own shows on their own streamer for whatever reason.
Yeah. Oh, I also saw that Alien Earth is premiering on Hulu and not going.
Guess who owns FX, where that show's being produced at?
Right.
Disney.
Yeah.
God.
See, they specifically called out King of the Hill in this list on Hulu's what to watch on Hulu. So, but yeah, we got a bunch of stuff in here. But anyway, yeah. So I'm not gonna pay for it. Still not paying for it. Wasn't paying for it to begin with.
Jason, I'm not doing it.
Unless it's free with my Spotify Premium, which I've also thought about. But
you called me poor for not having a Spotify Premium account not long ago.
They're requiring the ID stuff now, man. I don't mess with that.
Man.
I'm just saying, this stuff's weird. Why do you need to know my ID just to listen to music? Odd.
I think you're completely right, but I will
I'm
hold
go back to wired headphones. I saw an iPod Nano on Facebook Marketplace for $10. Snagged. Anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say we are now way off topic. Disney shuttering Hulu as a standalone app to save money is why. And to be completely fair, from a business model, if you feel like you're going to have similar costs and similar like duplicative technologies as was listed in the article from Variety, it makes sense because you want them to go to one app because then you can really profit and you can really like singular have that push to one entity. And so it makes sense, but everything's going to Disney Plus. Doctor Who's on Disney Plus because the BBC made a deal with them.
Oh no.
Crazy. Anyway, we'll move on. And that, friends, ends our second segment of the day. Coming up after the break, Ryan Gosling has his villains for Star Wars Starfighter. We have new trailers and what you should know before you go. Coming up next. And welcome back. Huh?
Whisk Big. Did you see that?
Oh, what you should know before you go is the third. Yeah.
I like it. Whisk Bigs.
Welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You made it to segment 3. For our audio listeners, you have no idea what we're talking about. And you just watch it on YouTube or open your video feature on Spotify to figure it out. Anyway, welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You made it to segment 3, which is always we wrap up the biggest news that you should know. This week, we're talking about Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars talk. Then we'll show you trailers and, as always, as promised, what you should know before you go. We'll give you quick 5 or 6 headlines that weren't as big as the others. We go through them in quick fashion. We go back and talk about the ones that were the most interesting to us, and then we get you out of here. But first, if you're new here, when we get to our third segment, we always kind of take a moment to say thank you. You are about 46, 47 minutes in, and it is insane that you are spending your drive, your commute, your afternoon, some point this week, morning, afternoon, whatever, with us to be talking and listening about the biggest news in cinema. Again, as always, I always like to describe we're just 3 friends who have a passion. And the fact that we get to do this and have fun and have an audience who partake, if you would like, leave a comment. That'd be sick. But the fact that we have some people who would listen to our banter is absolutely nothing short of astounding and amazing. So thank you guys for being here. Like, subscribe, share, do the whole thing. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube or Spotify. You could do it each place. Follow. We love you. And share it with your mom. Share it with your best friend. And on that note, Jake, you have anything to say to our audience before we finish out our last segment?
Share it with your aunt. Your uncle.
We haven't talked.
Let's broaden this family.
All right.
Yeah.
Every week we add 1 new family member.
Yeah. There's no reason this can't be listened to with the whole family.
All right. We're at aunt now. We're gonna have to keep track of that.
Yep.
Anyway, on that note, thank you so much for watching, and we're gonna go ahead and get into our last few stories of our major news. Matt Smith of Doctor Who fame has been cast as the villain in Sean Levy and Ryan Gosling starring Star Wars Starfighter. So Smith joins Maya Goth as central figures in the upcoming standalone film. Details as to who exactly this character will be are currently unknown, but according to Deadline, quote, sources say execs made the decision to go with Smith to play the next great villain in the Star Wars universe. I really want to harp on that note because that is not a small detail on who this character is going to be. This is not the first time Smith was up for a role in the Star Wars or in the Star Wars universe or in a film, as according to The Hollywood Reporter, Smith was tapped to star or appear in an unknown role in 2019's The Rise of Skywalker, the much loathed 9th installment into the Skywalker or the Star Wars franchise, and the effective end to the Skywalker saga. Rumors swirl about this role as, according to Josh Horowitz from the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Smith was potentially set to play a young Palpatine before legacy actor Ian McDiarmid reprised his role, and one of the most memed lines in all of cinema was born. And Jake, do your thing.
Dude, and somehow Palpatine returned.
He returned. And now it exists and people hate it. So while nobody from Lucasfilm or Smith himself have commented or confirmed nor denied these rumors as to who Smith was playing in Episode 9, he did state, quote, it was a pretty groovy thing. It was a really groovy part and concept. It was a big thing. It was a big story detail, a transformative Star Wars story detail, and it never got quite over the line. And that comes from The Hollywood Reporter. Going back to Starfighter, the film takes place 5 years after Episode 9 with a release date of May 28th, 2027. So, Jake, what do we think about Smith finally getting a Star Wars role after being tied to so many big characters, and now he's being dubbed the next great villain in the Star Wars universe? This is a very intriguing yet mysterious character. What do we think?
I think that he's gonna do great. If there's any villain like, and you said Mia's gonna be in the movie too. Like
Yeah.
this is gonna be an awesome movie. Gosling, you got Goth, and you got Matt Smith. It's got a making like so. Going back to what we've always said, right? Is if it's got the writing, if it's got the director, and it's got the cast, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
So we've got the cast. I missed who's directing, and then I
Sean
have no
Levy.
idea who's writing. Sean Levy. It
Pretty
might be.
good. Pretty
It might
good.
have.
Yeah.
It might have the. I don't know. I don't know.
Not have
Are
hope.
we gonna have a new? Are we gonna have a new? Literally me personality. I
We
think so.
it's one of those things where it's like you don't want to get too hyped for it because Disney has screwed over this franchise so many times. They've had their moments, right? Like The Mandalorian is great, but like Ahsoka
Right.
was good. I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was fine, but it's like there are some there are it's highs, but there are more lows, and so
Yeah.
it's like you can't get too excited. But Sean Levy can direct a fun film. We know when you have emotionally deep and complex actors like Gosling, Smith, and Maya Goth. Maya Goth was in Ty West's X trilogy with Pearl and all those fun movies, so she can get deep into her own character. Matt Smith can play anybody. He can literally do anything. The joke
Yeah.
online with him right now is he's collecting franchises like Infinity Stones because he jumped from Doctor Who to the Terminator. He was the villain in that. Then he was in the House of the Dragon as the main villain. Now he was in oh gosh, what else was he in? He did something else recently too. But now he's in Star Wars. And it's just like he's doing this thing where he's just bouncing. Oh, he was in Morbius. That was the other thing he was in. He was memed to heck in from Morbius. But he could do that. Like he then you have again, it's Ryan Gosling. Like what is there to say?
Yeah.
So it's like you have everything you need. All the ingredients are there. It's just like please Disney don't Disney it. Like just let him have fun. Let
There
them
is that probability,
I
that
know.
chance that they ruin it.
I know. And we'll talk more about Disney in the next story because the next story is more it's not even a story, it's a rumor. And we'll talk
Yeah.
about like what we think because I feel like it's really intriguing and we're already talking about Star Wars. But before we get on to that, this has so much potential. And what it senses to me and like what it screams is this while Gosling himself and this story are going to be standalone, I feel like Smith and Goth are going to be Sith or whatever version we get now. Because I think the Sith are
Yep.
technically dead because Kylo Ren was a Knight of Ren. So it's like he's technically just a Dark Force user, right? Whatever.
Right.
I think you're going to see Smith and Goth as like the next two in the rule of two from the dark side. And that is why they're listing him as the next great because he probably was like, yeah, I'll do as many Star Wars films as you want. He's a guy that has a huge fandom, so he's going to pull people and he's got the talent to do it. So that's where I really wanted to go with that story too, is like the fact that they labeled him the next great villain in the Star Wars universe, because that signifies that he's going to be beyond this film.
Big deal.
Yeah.
I think he can do it. I think he's gonna be a crazy good villain.
Yeah.
I'm giving this guy all the marbles. I think he's gonna be awesome. So, is it about it's a pilot? I would
Yeah.
assume a Starfighter.
Starfighter. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he drives. He's literally
I knew you were going to say that.
he's literally me. But can't wait.
Like, give it to me now. Like inject it in
Right.
my veins. That's like where I am with this.
Come out with it now. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's good enough.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
see it.
They've not even done
No.
preliminary photography. It's like, just give it to me. Put it on stage and act it out. Like, I don't care. Like,
Put it on Broadway.
yeah,
don't care.
I cannot tell you how excited I am. And again, I think this is a great point to move on to our next story because we get into what potentially Smith could be returning for if he goes beyond Starfighter. So,
Yeah.
in our next story, give you some context at home. According to industry insider Daniel RPK, who we've talked a little bit about, we don't usually go over rumors, but we're going to delve into what could potentially be happening at Disney. There's a lot swirling. There's murmurs about what's in store for Star Wars, and that could potentially include, because again, this is according to Daniel RPK on Twitter, Disney is planning a, quote, Avengers Endgame-style climax to the post-Episode 9 Star Wars. So, according to rumor, this new saga is rumored to begin with Daisy Ridley's upcoming The New Jedi Order film. There's no title, they're just calling it New Jedi Order. That film will lead into a string of films following where we establish new characters and in theory, a new overarching villain, which could that be Smith? Anyway, this will then culminate.
Palpatine.
Yeah, it's just
Again.
Palpatine again.
gonna happen.
Somehow.
Somehow.
If I don't see Finn as a Jedi,
It's
anyway.
not gonna happen, dude. It's not gonna happen.
Ray, I have something to tell you. That's it.
Forgot.
Yeah, we do not hear about it again. Anyway,
Don't remember.
this will lead into some huge event that will see the return of many legacy characters into one giant event. So that is the way it was listed. I added the legacy character notion, but the idea is that they'd see a bunch of returning characters.
Okay.
I think what they're meaning is we're going to see Ahsoka, we're going to see Mando,
Ooh.
we're going to see, like, just think of all those new characters. If Boba Fett's not dead yet, Boba Fett will show up. Because, well, I mean, they could kill him at any point, you know, and, like, it's in the future. So it's like if he could show up randomly as an old man. Ezra from Rebels could show up. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, that's, like, what I theorize. And they will show up beside Poe Dameron, Rey, and Finn.
Yeah, Poe Dameron in the Starfighter movie.
Oh my gosh!
Anyway,
Yeah.
I went
Oscar
backwards,
Isaac
but-
and Ryan Gosling side by side in fighter jets. Yeah, X-wings.
Ah, cinema.
Martin Scorsese. That's funny.
Yeah.
I have a lot of concerns because, and I'm going to go back to another guy we talked about on the pod today. We talked about, I feel like, every week, and we probably will continue to talk about essentially every week until he's either retired or fired or whatever. But James Gunn said the way he's running his DCU is a lot like Star Wars, how they've done it up to this point. And that is Star Wars, for the most part, outside of the Skywalker saga, it's a lot of standalones. You have the Skywalker saga, which is like the main through line. But think about like the Clone Wars. While, yes, it's following Anakin before his eventual fall, connecting the dots and bridging the gap between episodes 2 and 3. Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, you know, we see Asajj Ventress, Maul, Savage, right? We see all these characters who that's like the point. Grievous, Dooku, like we get all these character developments for these characters that we might not even see in live action, at least not until 20 years later. But like it shows just the complexity, and they are a bunch of standalone films. That's how James Gunn is considering running, or that's how he's self-described how he's running DCU. Is it's like, yes, you have that through line, but not everything's going to connect. Think arguably the best Disney Star Wars film is Rogue One.
You're not wrong. It was.
That's a standalone. Yes, they did go back with Andor, but they had story there, and that's a great series.
Yeah.
So it's like that. I consider those two the same thing. So it's like they had one standalone that was their best story they've told so far, and it is again not connected and not in this big Avengers Endgame-style like climax.
I think it's gonna backfire.
You don't need it. You just don't. You don't need it. You're Star Wars. You have never needed that.
But it worked. It worked for Marvel. It
Yeah.
worked.
Over half a decade ago.
I mean, here's the thing, man. They did it once, you know.
And it worked so well that they will
because
try.
it hadn't been done before.
They're going to try to mimic that and milk that style again and again and again.
Yeah.
It is.
South Park's gonna try it next.
You know what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. South Park, yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna be all kinds of different IPs trying to do the MCU.
Can you imagine we get to the Star Wars and it's like all of the spoofs that have ever existed for Star Wars? So like Robot Chicken shows up and then Family Guy shows up and it's like that's like the style or the Endgame style they're talking about. Like I'm not being serious, but that's like in my mind that'd be really funny. But
Family is next.
Yeah. But the point, I don't know. I feel like my big fear is Disney will run this IP into the ground so hard that they will sell it.
Yeah.
Because at some point people will get so exhausted of it that they will stop watching, right? Right? Or is it just a money printing machine that even if they stop making stuff, they could just keep it for the rest of time?
You gotta have some really good like stories though. Like Starfighter. Like I would argue that like if you keep doing that, you can lengthen the time of Star Wars. But like you keep going back and trying to do MCU, Avengers, Endgame level stuff, I don't think it'll last, man.
Not everything has to be Marvel.
I'm just saying, it worked once. It's got to work the fourth time.
I just tell the story. Stop trying to be like, stop trying to add more. Stop trying to be convoluted. Like, just tell Ray's
Everything doesn't
story.
have to connect.
No, just tell
No.
Ray's story. Yeah, like it would be cool if Matt Smith and his character from Starfighter shows up as the main villain in Ray's story. Fine. And like the story that he partook in when Ryan Gosling was like a standalone story, but that is like your introduction to this major villain. I would be okay with that. That to the extent of that connection, I'd be fine. But it's like the
Yeah.
idea that like they're going to tell that standalone story and then immediately
Yeah.
like they're all just everything's going to connect, and all of a sudden Matt Smith is going to run into Pedro Pascal and Grogu, and they're going to be like, ah! Like I don't like that. I just it doesn't.
Even if they went through with like a young Palpatine, like that would have been a good story. Like I argue, like I think it would be because you got to see the Sith Lord Plagueis
Yeah,
too. Like you got to see the rise of Palpatine and how he learned everything.
yeah,
And actually, if Plagueis was in the film, you'd know how Anakin got birthed, or
yeah,
because the people say that Plagueis was the one who put all the midichlorians into I think Shmi is
yeah, yeah.
his mom. So they're
See,
saying that Plagueis was the one who created the chosen one because he was going to raise him as the next
this is again off topic, but
Lord.
they've never come out and like that's like one thing that's like interesting depending on where you read. So like in Legends, a book that I had read that like is why that like explained it was like Palpatine was the one who actually did it, not Plagueis, and it was Palpatine trying to bend the will of the Force without Plagueis because that's something they were trying to do to turn it back dark. And
Yeah.
Palpatine was like, "Screw you, Plagueis! Like I'm stronger than you." And when he did it, the way that it was described in, and I gotta find the book. But the way that it described it in this novel or this novelization was that Palpatine reached out and the Force fled from him because it knew what he was trying to do. And in
Yeah.
turn, the Force created Anakin Skywalker. Like that's like the cause and effect is like it felt the Sith and it felt the darkness trying to turn fate. So it created Anakin, and that's why Anakin had to fall was so that he could be put in position to do what he did in episode episode 6. So like that and that I find that very interesting. But again, that's Legends. That's not confirmed.
Right.
So
No.
what I think was going to happen with Matt Smith's character, who did they say Rey was? Like going back
Palpatine's granddaughter.
because Palpatine did what? He cloned himself.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I think Smith was going to be the clone. I think that Matt Smith was going to play the younger version of Palpatine, the clone, and that was how they were going to connect it to Rey. But because Disney put a time limit on it, because if I remember correctly, I remember reading years ago that Abrams wanted to split episode 9 into 2 parts, and Disney was like, no. So then he created like a 4.5-hour movie, and Disney was like, you got to cut it. And it was like, so it was like all these intricate plot details. Like again, now this is super unsubstantiated. I have nothing in my stuff for this. This is just off of memory from what I've been reading, and it could just be rumor. But like another detail was like, if you remember episode 9 begins where they're finding the holocron, like they're in the middle of the planet. That apparently that started like halfway through the original cut.
Wow.
So where you get dropped in. So now again, supposedly I would like to put that on there as like I'm going off of memory of something I read not recently. So that could be completely incorrect. But like if that's the case, that could be why Smith got cut was because of time, and who he was probably going to play was we were probably going to see her father, and it was going to be Matt.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, I
don't know. I'm Star Wars doubt. I look forward to Starfighter. I don't look forward to the Endgame level.
I want Rey to have a cool arc because Rey is objectively is an interesting character until they got to that, until they got to her actual background. And to be honest, maybe just leave her unknown. I will say, last thing we'll say about this.
Slow nod. If anybody at home who's just listening to audio, just slow nod.
What I will say is I will never forget because I did have a fun childhood memory throughout high school trying to predict who she was. Like the excitement of episodes 7, 8, 9 and trying to predict who she was. I was on Team Kenobi. I thought that she was somehow the granddaughter of Obi-Wan. And I thought that was good. I thought that would have been pretty cool because then that would have made Ben because again, like think about the whole thing is like Skywalker versus Kenobi, right? Like to some extent.
Yeah.
Then when you get to that moment where Ben shows up, he's a Skywalker descendant, she's a Kenobi descendant, and they're fighting again. Like it's just like that, those bloodlines. For me, that was like a really interesting arc. I thought that would have been
I
cool.
was on team nobody.
Nobody would have been the other option too.
She's a nobody. And then we got the worst of both.
Yeah, they told you that, because that's cool too, because they told you at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like we said from the jump she was nobody.
But actually,
Palpatine returned. And he had a grandkid. No! Anyway.
who would
I love that, like, they had such a cool thing going, because despite episode 8 not being great, everyone was still like super invested, super intrigued. And collectively, nobody in Star Wars fandom can agree on anything. But collectively, we all went, ah.
yeah. Well, everybody was in it because they wanted to hate on it.
They wanted to
And
know
then-
who was right and who was wrong. And everyone was wrong.
That too. Yeah, everybody was wrong, and then they were like,
No!
"Oh,
Don't! Yeah.
That's who. If anybody at home knows how that works, who would dare?"
Yeah. Yeah. And on that note, as I say at the end of every segment, that is the end of our major news. Yep, there it is. That's awesome. On that note, that is
awesome.
the end of our major news. We're going to go ahead and get into our trailers. We got 4 more for you today. We'll start with The Paper, the series from Peacock, the follow-up to The Office. Then we go to Him, Jordan Peele's produced next film. Then The Rental Family, and a official trailer from the Thursday Murder Club. First, we start with The Paper.
I am your new editor-in-chief.
Have you read this paper?
Uh-huh.
How do you think it compares to any other paper?
It sucks. Welcome, volunteers, to your first staff meeting as reporters for the Toledo Truth Teller. How many of you have actually written for a paper before?
I wrote a paper in junior high.
Not quite the same thing.
I've tweeted.
You've tweeted?
I'm in a group text.
This is terrific.
I'm not agreeing to any of this. I will make this unusable. Use that.
I had to put Oscar in there. Come on.
I hated on it at first when it was first announced, but
Yeah.
seeing the teaser, I think it's unique enough that there's potential.
I think from all of us working in newspaper, I think it's gonna have. Emily's very excited.
Oh, good.
It's so cute. I think I'm gonna be the hater and say, I don't think it's gonna do very well. I think it's gonna flop.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't think. I think it's trying a little hard. Like a lot of the characters just kind of like. I don't know. I just think it's gonna flop. I don't think it's as good. It's got a really, really top. Michael Scott. I forget the actor.
Oh, so I'm actually looking at him now because if it's funny we're talking about Star Wars because he's General Hux or not Hux? Yeah, hold on.
Oh well, yeah, but
His name is Domhnall Gleeson is his name.
yeah, he was also in Harry Potter as the older brother.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It will flop. I promise. I promise it'll flop.
It is-
Emily's saying it won't. I think it will.
Again, when it first came out, I was like, okay, they're milking it way too hard because it was announced at the same time that like there was an Australian version of The Office being produced. And so it's like all these things were happening at once. And Peacock is just like, okay, we've had our rights for our produced thing. Because remember, Netflix had it for a long time. Then Peacock was launched and then they took it back. So it was like, we have our thing. We've waited half a decade. Okay, now it's time. And they did all these things at once. And so I was a little bit like, but I will say it's like coming from having worked in a media outlet, like in a newspaper adjacent business, like we all have, it seems funny. And it's like, there's like a sense of like relationship to it. Like, I feel like I can already connect to it.
Yeah.
I feel like the actors in it, they like, especially Gleason and obviously, oh gosh, what's his name? The actor that plays Oscar. Hold on.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
blanking on his
Really
name
love
in this moment. But again,
I just think it's only relatable to those who know.
he plays
and-
that
but-
role so well. Oscar Nunez. His name is Oscar. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I really think it does look. I think Emily's very right. It does look very cute. I like the idea too. Well, this is what I was saying is, when you called Gleason's character this version's Michael Scott, he doesn't come across. He seems a lot more not.
That's what I mean. I thought
Yeah.
that was why The Office did really well, is the isms of Michael Scott, and then Joe, who looks at the, or not Joe,
Jim.
Jim, and then John Krasinski. So
Yeah.
it turned into Joe, but like the isms he had looking at the camera, and then like the love story with Pam. Like, I really feel like it's going to try too hard. I don't think it's going to be its own thing.
I could see what you mean, but it just seems like Emily called it cute, but I will branch off of that tree and I will say it looks sweet. It looks very genuine. And that's why when I saw the teaser, I was like, okay, this might have potential, because yes, it's going to be a comedy, but what made The Office so great are those sweet moments. What made The Office great are, you talk about the relationship between Pam and Jim, are those genuine moments where it's like Michael, like when I think of The Office, yes, I think of Michael being Michael, but I think of Michael also to be the only one to show up to Pam's art show and buying art. In that moment, to be the father figure and the friend she never had. Like that, I think of moments like that, or like, and then I think of like Scott's Tots, and then I recoil and pain and hiss. But like mostly, I think of like those sweet moments. And so to see, for me, they're leaning more into that, like that. What made The Office like watchable? Yes, it's funny, hoo ha ha, like Dwight Jello, but also it's like I like that they're not trying. Again, I understand what you mean, trying too hard, because it can feel that way. But it's like I like that from our interpretation, from our quick view, that it seemed like they were leaning into this guy being very genuine and leaning into the best parts of The Office versus them trying to be the funny part, which is what killed The Office in the end anyway. Because after Steve Carell left, they tried really hard to be funny. Like they brought in Will Ferrell and Idris Elba, and they just missed at points. Like it just wasn't. And so I would like to see more, is what I'll leave that as. Any thoughts?
I'm reading what Emily said. If cute moments and isms can happen once, they can happen again. The Office isn't the only show that can ever have isms and be sweet. I just don't think we've seen anything like The Office since, and there have been people who have tried and have not done very as well. And I don't think this one's going to be an exception. I don't think it's going to be
I would
big.
like to see what they can come out with, because again, if it's original enough and it's got those sweet moments, I think Emily's right. But we'll go ahead and move on to our second trailer, Him, produced by Jordan Peele and Monkey's Paw.
Cameron King, great meeting you. I'm a fan. That's crazy.
I damn near worship you growing up.
Who are you?
I'm him.
Who are you?
I'm him. Mata.
Let's play a little catch. We going to the land! You want to play at your highest level? You want to be a legend? Let me tell you something. This ain't a game.
I love it.
I left a lot of gore out.
Yeah, I
left a lot out.
Love Him.
And very bloody, folks.
Let me tell you why. And it's just a premise alone, because it's not like a secret that I'm a sports fan in remission, if you will. I'm not nearly as big as a sports fan as I was not long ago.
He's gonna relapse, folks. He's gonna relapse,
dude. We're in the offseason right now. The NFL's starting back, and I'm like getting close.
Itching for Thursdays.
Itching for Thursday. Dude, there's nothing better than noon on Sunday, and you have like 8 hours of football. I see. I'm already relapsing. Anyway, but it's the thing about sports is there's something romantic about it, and sports films, they have their audiences for a reason, right? Think The Blind Side. Think Remember the Titans. I have two loves in life. I love sports and I love horror movies. I have never seen a sports horror movie. I don't think that's ever existed before, and if it has, it's very niche. This is unique. We talk about if the paper can be unique enough distinction from The Office. Him is so unique. That premise is original to the max. And I cannot wait to see how the master of suspense in present day, Jordan Peele, can help influence, because he's not directing, and I can't remember the name of the director right off the top of my head. I'll actually look it up really quick. It is directed by if IMDb will load.
Sandlot. was a
Justin
horror.
Tipping. Justin Tipping is the director, and he has directed. In 2012, he directed Nani, and in 2016, he directed Kicks. So not under the radar, but not one who's huge. I mean, obviously, again, I'm going to trust Jordan Peele. Another interesting note is it's Marlon Wayans as potentially the main protagonist in the fear, like the guy pushing the fear in this. The dude from Scary Movie, like, and again, he looks like he's killing it. Like, it's just so many, like seeing him in a role that's like this, where we've not seen him in this light before, seeing this new concept
He did White Chicks, right?
Yeah.
Easy Day of White Chocolate.
Yeah. that, like, the guy that was
that guy.
opposite of Terry Crews in
Yeah.
White Chicks, and one of the goofiest and most aloof characters in all of like spoof, like horror spoof comedies from a Scary Movie in that franchise, is the villain in the main, and it's all serious, and he looks awesome. So I cannot tell you how excited I am for him. I did not think that when I saw it, I thought it looked interesting. I'm hooked. Hook, line, and sinker, get me in a seat. Like, I'm there.
He's hooked, man. Relapsed. Started hitting the hard stuff again. Now there's a horror movie, and it's right up both his niches.
Now imagine if I
could say I could not be no less interested.
No.
these are my two least favorite niches.
Jake heard sports and horror, and he said I could not care less.
There's nothing more that I hate in this life. Is being scared and physical activity.
Well,
sometimes both go hand in hand.
Well, Jake will never visit a corn maze, like a haunted corn maze in his life.
Nope.
Anyway, any other thoughts on him other than that you just don't care?
I think it's very interesting as a concept, and I love the actor's portrayal. I think they're going to do awesome. It's definitely something new. We haven't seen. His name blanked on me now. Help me out.
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans. It's gonna be fun, but I am not as excited as Ryan is.
I'm psyched. Anyway, we'll go ahead.
I'm more excited about the next one.
The next one, the trailer is for The Rental Family.
What do you think we do here? We sell emotion.
How?
We play roles in clients' lives. Parents, siblings, boyfriends, girlfriends, best friends, and help them connect to what's missing. We need a talking white guy. This girl needs a father.
Hi, Mia. I'm your father.
I'm your father.
Hello, Mia. I'm your father.
I hate you.
It looks so sweet, man.
Yeah, and I Frasier, man.
Dude, I think people were too, because I saw this and everyone in the comments was like, Brendan looks so healthy. I feel like they got too hooked on his last portrayal and just thought he was just an otherwise. I know he wasn't like in shape, but it's like, just because he was in The Whale doesn't mean the guy was like dying.
Right.
So
Which a lot of it was prosthetics, but
that's what I'm saying. It's like it was his character. No, he's not as in shape as he was when he was in The Mummy, but it's also like.
Right.
Like
he's also like what, 50?
Yeah, he's getting up there, and so it's like I see like that. I wanted to point that out because when I saw this trailer,
like you, Ryan, just like you.
I saw this trailer and I saw it. Like I wanted to see what other people were thinking because it looks so nice. I didn't hear what you said, and
just like you, Ryan. Just like you.
Funny.
Pushing 30.
Send him to the corner, Emily. Get him out of here.
She agrees.
Thank you, Emily. Jake, we have a controversial corner for Jake because he says some off the cuff things, and I just banished him for the first time. So thank you, Emily. Not that it was controversial; he just kind of inconvenienced me.
He just
sent him to the corner, banished him to the neither. So anyway, The Rental Family. I was interested in it. I was curious what other people were thinking, and everyone in the comments. I just had to say that because everyone was like, "Oh, he looks so healthy," and I'm like, "Dog, just because he was in The Whale doesn't mean he was super unhealthy."
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what I'm saying.
They must have thought that was actual method acting, and
Like, I
was
understand, like,
that.
he wasn't, like, the healthiest person. Like, he did, like, gain a little bit of weight.
He
Like,
was, yeah,
yeah,
he was
he was
a heavy
bigger,
fella.
but it's also, like, when you compare him to what we saw him as last, like, yeah, like I think people were jarred, but then he happened to be in The Whale right after that, and that was kind of like what got him big. And so, I had to make that. I don't want to make that the entire thing we talk about because we got to talk about the actual trailer. But I wanted to make that point because I think he's always been fine. Anyway,
Yeah, this looks very sweet. If y'all want to talk about cute and sweet, this is it.
yeah,
This is what that is. I think this is going to be very heartfelt. I don't know if it's going to be, one for the books and like going to be crazy huge, but I think it's definitely going to be like a feather in Fraser's hat. And he's going to continue to come out with these heartfelt dramas, I think.
yeah.
I don't think we'll see him in like an action movie really again.
No.
Uh,
He might have talked about
but
The Mummy at one point, but I don't think he really meant to mean he would like do what he did before.
yeah. So, but I look forward to his other ones. I need to watch The Whale. Sadie Sink, I heard, did really well as well.
Yeah.
In that. So
To go over for our audience at home, The Rental Family is about Brendan Fraser, who plays an actor, kind of like a TV commercial actor, who's just trying to go from role to role, trying to survive in present day media, and roles are drying up. And he's approached by this company that says, "Hey, as you heard, we sell emotion." And so he is essentially acting as these figures for people who need it. So again, in the trailer, talk about girlfriends, children, like widows. You are just going to play these characters, and that's where Jake's coming from with the heartfelt emotion. Like the actor he was is like, he's in, if you think of like the joke about the Japanese commercials where it's like over the top and it's like he's like dressed up as a toothbrush, and he's like speaking Japanese, like flying through the air, and that's like what he does. And those roles are dying because of media today, and that's what leads him into taking these roles. And it's just Brendan Fraser as what he, like, I don't want to say markets himself as, because you never know what these people are actually like behind closed doors, but like what he like presents is just this sweet, wholesome individual. And the idea of him walking up to somebody and being like, "I am your father," like it just hits when he says it. I don't know why that is, but it's like seeing in the trailer him walk up to that little girl, and obviously she throws something at him at the end and says, "I hate you," but him walking up and being like,
she hates me.
Yeah,
like afterward. Yeah.
Him walking up and just with all the sweetness in his heart in Brendan Fraser's acting, saying, "I am your father." Like it's just like you talk about sweet moments, is like this one will probably rip your heart out.
Yeah, likely.
Yeah.
So,
any thoughts before we move on to our last film?
No, I think it'll just be a good film. Moving on.
Yeah. And the last trailer we've already seen it before, but now it's a new trailer. It's a new full-length trailer, not just a teaser. We have the Thursday Murder Club.
Police are making a list of suspects right now.
He had plenty of enemies.
I'm not worried about the cantankerous old farts.
Police work is off limits to anyone who isn't the police.
Plunker.
We're all suspects.
Bugger.
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 Bugger. Joyce, Ibrahim, Ron. We need a Thursday murder club.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think my mom will like it.
Yeah. Okay. Phil, tell me a little bit more about that.
I think I want it to be Glass Onion. Like I want it to be that, but it's not going to be.
Yeah, so
that's David Tennant is also in it, which is why I edited it.
Yeah.
That way. Emily just said in the chat, "It's like, was that David Tennant?"
That was
Yes, it was
10.
And then
that
there was
him.
Yeah. So
I when I see the cast, because it's got Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Ben Kingsley as the aforementioned David Tennant, and a lot like more. Like it's a stacked cast.
Practically, yeah.
I want it to be so good. And it very well might be, but it just reads. It's a book series, so it's not like it is somewhat original, but it reads exactly what you said. It reads Knives Out. It just reads Glass Onion.
To me, it reads not really exciting. Like it didn't read crazy exciting to me, even though I still don't know who did it. It's just a whodunit. Like
Yeah. Which
I
there's
just don't.
always room for a whodunit, but it's like,
I'm not as excited for it as I was Knives Out like 1,
yeah.
and I wasn't really excited for Knives Out 2, and I'm even less so for 3. So and now I've got Thursday, the Thursday Murder Club, and it's just kind of like.
Yeah, the IMDb synopsis is four irrepressible, I cannot read that word. Irrepressible retirees spend their time solving cold case murders for fun, but their casual sleuthing takes a thrilling turn when they find themselves with a real whodunit on their hands. Literally in the synopsis from IMDb is whodunit. So it seems, I think the theme of the day is cute. It seems like a cute whodunit with a bunch of people who are in over their heads. That's what it seems like. And it seems like they're going to be like, they're wicked smart, but they don't know what they're doing. And that'll make it fun. And again, the acting in it seems just mwah, like it just seems like it's got so much talent. But again, it's one of those things.
Boring?
Yeah, will it be boring? I hope not.
Yeah.
But there's no promise.
Like I said, I think my mom will like it.
Any other thoughts other than that?
No, and I promise that's not necessarily a negative.
No.
My mom likes good stuff. My mom likes bad stuff.
This will have an audience. Is it us? The question is probably no.
Likely not 20-year-old males.
Yeah.
So.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and move on from our trailer segment and get you out of here after what you should know before you go.
Emily, a 20-year-old female, is excited for.
Again, it has an audience. No, I just was saying it has an audience. I just don't think it's not for me. I'll probably enjoy it, but I'm not going to sit here and be like I was for him and be like, "Oh, I'm just not going to do it." Like I'm going to be
Ryan Gosling. Put him in it. I'll be excited.
Yeah. Anyway, what you should know before you go. We're going to start with AMC, the theater chain, because if you remember not long ago, they were catching a lot of flack from from the internet for just outright stating, hey, we do not care about your feelings. We're extending our pre-show ad run. So get there later, even like later than you have been. So 30 minutes is too soon. Get there however long. They're backtracking because after the flack from audience goers and movie goers alike, pressure from studios caused them to completely back out. They said, we're not doing that anymore. Sorry. And I think that's hilarious. Moving on, Christopher Nolan and crew.
So they are no longer having more ads?
They backed it out. They backtracked because studios gave them pressure. Christopher Nolan and crew have officially wrapped filming on The Odyssey after 6 months. James Cameron admits that he will not be directing Avatar 6 and 7. HBO Max to hit password sharing hard in the coming months/year. Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav says HBO Max Harry Potter series will have a 10-year run. Dave Bautista is in talks to star alongside or opposite Henry Cavill in the Highlander remake, and a new Final Destination film is in the works with Bloodline's co-writer returning. Of those major talking points, of those big quick hits, what caught your eye?
So if I run down, I'm starting with Christopher Nolan. Awesome. Greatest movie is just wrapped.
Yeah.
I told you so on Cameron. He ain't going to make it to 6 and 7. I think he knows that. I think he knows he's not going to make it to 6 and 7. Boo HBO Max. Boo. Warner Bros. Has basically got away with child slave labor for 10 years. Dave Bautista and Henry Cavill in a Highlander remake. Oh, there is another one. The Final Destination film is in the works with Bloodline's co-writer returning. I'm not big on them. I'll leave the last one to Ryan. But Dave Bautista and Henry Cavill in the Highlander remake is probably kind of cool. I wish I would have watched the first one. Dad talks very highly of it.
Yeah. Not a big Final Destinations fan, so you say leave it to me.
Oh.
I don't really care.
Take it away!
Yeah. But the password sharing one is annoying simply because it's like it's already tough out there. Like it's already everything is already so expensive, and now you're getting like they had a subscriber growth this year, if I remember correctly, and they're really gonna hit that number hard because like their viewer count's gonna dip. They're already getting rid of the Cartoon Network shows, as we talked about earlier. Something else to note that I had noticed or that I didn't write down, but I do remember reading is not only does Disney, Hulu, and ESPN have a technical package you can buy for $30 a month, there's also a deal for HBO, Disney Plus, and Hulu. And I think that they're banking on that to make them a lot more money. So as someone who does nab my parents' HBO Max because we are on a deal through our phone carrier to have it for free, and it's nice.
Me too.
Hey!
I don't think that's technically password sharing, though.
I hope not. If we could get away with that, that'd be great. But
like, I'm a profile on it.
Yeah, I fear that they will not care. I think that they will say, because the way that the password sharing works is they make you pick like a home Wi-Fi, and I don't think they're going to be able to differentiate. Yeah.
Me living away from parents. I don't think they use it. I think I can set it as mine and get away with it.
I don't think I can, unfortunately. And I mean, I can ask, but I don't know. It bothers me a lot because again, it's like I can understand to a certain extent, like for certain audience goers, they might be abusing that. But when you think about who's really the majority of the password sharers, it's college kids.
Yeah.
It's those of us.
Families,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's big families. And it's like, are you really going to use and abuse that audience for just a couple more bucks? The answer is yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah,
It sucks. I think that one bothers me. I think it's funny that AMC got slapped by Hollywood. I think that's hilarious. I love every second of it. And what makes me laugh even more is because AMC's like major, like all their ads, or I guess like their person is it's Nicole Kidman. So every time that anything bad happens, it's just the same image of Nicole Kidman watching a movie from one of their previews, and it is so funny. It's like Nicole Kidman, like, and then underneath it's like AMC scolded by Hollywood. It's like what is she?
AMC kills Dalmatian puppies.
And it's just Nicole Kidman. Yeah. So I find that really funny.
PR department didn't think that one through.
No, and I think Cinemark is like Maria Menounos.
Yes, it is. She's also on gas station.
I know Shell. She's on the Shell ads. I have nothing wrong. Like her laugh bothers me, and like they made it a point to like make her like I feel like every other segment she's like laughing. If you know what I'm talking about out there, she's like anyway. Sorry.
Way on top. Cheddar News.
It feels forced. Anyway, yeah. It feels forced is the only reason. It's just not. I can't even recreate it. But anyway,
no, go ahead.
I don't even know how.
Oh, you don't even have to.
It's
man.
like I don't even know. You know what I'm talking about. If you go to Cinemark or if you go to a Shell gas station, you've definitely heard it, and you've probably done the same thing I've done, where you're like every time. But anyway, the real story here is I think it's funny that AMC got their wrists slapped, and then obviously, as you said, Christopher Nolan. The fact that we get to see the Odyssey next year is heaven sent.
Pattinson on a legendary run.
I know. Pattinson is going to be in a year and a half. He's going to star in Dune.
Yep.
The Odyssey.
Yep.
And the Batman.
Yep. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Is he the next? Is he the next? Like I'm So Him? Is he the next one?
He already is.
Oh, okay. He
one
already
of them.
Is. Sorry.
Gosling, Pattinson.
Is it
There's a third?
Gyllenhaal?
Gyllenhaal. Yeah, it's Gyllenhaal.
I could have. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it. Anything else?
The next one's gonna be Tom Holland.
Oh no! Anyway, well, anything else to tell our audience before we let them go?
Let us know how badly you want Tom Holland to be 007.
Goodbye. Thank you for being here. I ain't doing this.
Thank you for listening.
Yes. See you guys next week. Goodbye.